Welcome to The Social Life. I'm Deanna Miller with Stark Social Media Agency. With me, as always, is my creative director, Nathan Imhoff.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Excited to be here again because we have a very special guest today with us. Super excited.
We have a special guest? You're special?
She's
very special.
So special. We have Gwendolyn Sims with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
She is a top-notch social media consultant. She's worked with a lot of political campaigns on a national level. She is a blogger and writer for a nationally syndicated radio show. We're talking about social media today, and Gwen has a lot of really great insights because she's handled a lot of really hot topics and really tough campaign situations. So we are going to have some fun today. We've got some mimosas on the table.
Woohoo!
Woo! And we also have some cold brew coffee and donuts for the sound guru.
And spiders.
And spiders and stuff.
He didn't like the cold brew, though.
He didn't. He just made a frowny face.
I took it away from him. I gave it to Gwen.
Score.
But today's topic is Facebook. We're talking about Facebook again because we've recently signed a couple new clients, and we've had a lot of questions about organic reach and Facebook's algorithm and how it's making a lot of people unhappy, from celebrities to local businesses to nonprofit organizations, people who have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, and literally they're getting 24 people who are maybe seeing a post on a regular basis. So we want to talk about that today. We want to have some honest conversation, if you will, about that. So one of the things that I was looking at, and Nathan and I were talking about earlier today, was Facebook's algorithm has changed really significantly over the last 2 years. What's happened is we went from 20 to 30% organic reach.
Right.
So you were able to post something, and 20 to 30% of the people who liked your page on a regular basis would see what you were posting organically. That's not taking any advertising into account. That's not taking any money spent at all. That was just, if you had 2,000 followers and you posted something, 20% of those people were likely to see what you posted on a given day.
Right.
And that has changed
significantly
over the last 2 years, and we're looking at 1 to 3%. That's like
nothing.
It's crazy, right? Now, you just worked on a campaign for a congressman, and Gwen has some experience with how frustrating that can be.
It's amazingly frustrating when you're working your tail off and nobody sees what you're doing.
Right. So you're measuring the audience reach, you're measuring the activity, you're measuring, and you're still like, come on, man. I'm posting valuable stuff.
Shouting into the abyss.
Exactly.
That's pretty much what it is at this point.
Absolutely.
Right. So we did some research. We wanted to find out more, and Nathan found some really cool stuff. We found a great TechCrunch article that we wanted to share, just some of the insights from it. So do you want to share what you found?
Yeah. So more or less the way an algorithm works is it's a procedure or formula that solves a problem. We use algorithms for almost all the things in our life, from you go to Netflix and it gives you recommendations, to Amazon gives you recommendations from stuff that you've bought or you've purchased. And
Amazon's dangerous, though.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like
I didn't know that existed.
I'm on Facebook and it's like, hey, this OXO thing is on sale. And
Oh.
I'm like, click, buy.
I'm a sucker for the OXO stuff.
I know. That's why I mentioned it.
So basically, we have these algorithms that are designed to take the guesswork out of whatever service we're using. So a lot of people think of Facebook like the way Twitter works, where it's just a stream of consciousness. Everyone that you follow, it comes in there. It's right there in your face. The problem is you only have so much time in the day to see this stuff. So I probably pick up Twitter app right now, look at it, and it's like, you have 300 tweets you haven't read. Let me get on to that.
Yeah.
I just go right to the top and skipped all those. Facebook has done this thing where they're trying to give you stuff that's important to you. Potentially, a user has between 1,500 and 15,000 potential posts that could come on their timeline, their feed.
Their feed, right?
Their feed.
Right.
So,
But the problem comes in when it's Facebook deciding what's important.
Right.
That's exactly it. Good
Well-
point, Gwen.
Well, I found a little bit of research on it, and it talked about a very simple way to understand if you're going to be likely to be in someone's feed. And it comes down to interest, post, creator, type, and recency. So interest is if a person just has multiple interests in something. So if somebody goes, oh, I'm starting this cupcake business to me, we like my Facebook page. Okay, I go and like it, but then Facebook's going to go, you don't like anything else like that. So they're going to make the assumption that, okay, you like that page, but you didn't like. They're going to go look at mine. They're going to go, you like football and hockey and beer, and
Right, but in
Well,
the
don't
case of brand loyalty, maybe you're loyal to a specific brand and you don't like anything else that's of that nature.
right,
So that for us, we've worked on political campaigns in the past, usually local, but for Gwen in those situations, that's frustrating because you have somebody who's loyal to your candidate who's not going around and liking 70 different political campaign pages, and you're trying to get your candidate seen. So, this interest, if you will,
right.
doesn't ring true with a lot of users.
Well, what I'm saying though is like for me, my feed is going to be completely different than Gwen's feed. Gwen's feed, she's a political junkie. It's going to be full of political stuff probably.
Right.
Well,
And-
even on my personal feed, not even for candidates and things, if you like a certain team, I'm an Ohio State Buckeye, but they're showing me things for, Carolina Panthers. I don't care about that.
Right. And if you don't respond to it,
Right.
it makes note of that though.
Right.
If you're just like, get this thing out of my face, okay, clearly not a Panthers fan.
Right.
Exactly.
I've found the more that I hide stuff, the more that I respond to posts that I don't want to see, the more my feed is valuable to me.
Right.
But I think that that's really the frustrating part as a social media manager, somebody who on a regular basis is trying to get people's posts and content seen. Your struggle. There's this struggle of, well, maybe not every user is as active as I am in participating in that game of, okay, well, that's not valuable to me. I'm not a Carolina Panthers fan, so I'm going to hide that.
Right.
And then that means I'm not going to see that anymore. But maybe, for example, my mom is like, I'm just going to scroll past it instead of saying I don't want to see it. So it's different. You've got different types of users doing different types of things.
Right.
And that's really the thing that I don't think Facebook, with this change in the algorithm, has taken into account.
Right. So also that brings to the second part of it is the post and the post performance among other users. So what Facebook tends to do is group like people together in their algorithm,
Right.
and then how those people respond. For instance, if political junkies that fall in Gwen's sphere like something, then Facebook's going to go, hey, maybe Gwen would also like this, whereas basically, like, if we're Packers fans and you're Ohio State fan, so a bunch of Ohio State fans
I'm
say
sorry, the Ohio State.
the
That's right.
Ohio State,
There you
yes,
go.
Get it right.
the Ohio State. So Gwen likes that, and they go, hey, people who like Ohio State probably are going to like this post. That's probably going to we're going to put this in a few more Ohio State fans.
Right.
thread.
Like on Football Sunday, whenever I'm reposting stuff that is Green Bay Packers related, I all of a sudden, Monday, Tuesday, my feed is saturated with Green Bay Packers stuff.
Oh yeah,
So that's fantastic because
Making it rain.
I love the Green Bay Packers, but that then doesn't give me a natural feed that I'm like, this is really great. It's the same kind of thing where I found this Facebook page that I love to repost their videos called Tasty. I don't know if you've seen them.
Tasty's great.
Tasty.
I love
Very
it.
good.
So they're great. I mean, they're great recipes that I can use with the monkey, who is my 9-year-old, and I'll repost a lot of their stuff. Then all of a sudden, I'm seeing nothing but recipe posts.
Yeah.
Right.
So then it's like,
Obviously, it's not perfect.
okay, so this is not. I mean, I reposted 2 recipes on a Wednesday, and now Thursday, all I'm seeing is Real Simple
Hey,
and
she's Betty
Martha
Crocker.
Stewart and all this other stuff, which I love. That's great. But I really want. I think the wish list on the Facebook algorithm for the feeds is, I need that healthy mix that I used to have that I don't have anymore.
Right. They need an option to, when you do share something and a repost, that kind of so that the user can tell Facebook that it's not something that's a major interest, that you're only interested in this one recipe or this one candidate or this one, whatever it is you're posting, that would really help weed out those and not fill your feed.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's, one of the things that I noticed recently. I manage several Pinterest accounts for different clients. And one of the things that I noticed on my own personal Pinterest account was I logged in and it said, do you want to rebuild your feed? So it gave me the option to unfollow a bunch of boards that were probably just a time suck for me. Like
Absolutely.
I'm scrolling through like 20,000 pins a day and it wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. So it's like, yes. And then all of a sudden everything's gone. And it's like, I get to start from scratch. I would love it if Facebook took something like that and made it similar, where you can say, these are the things I want to see on a regular basis.
Just a filter, a sort through.
Right.
These are the ones I like. These are the ones I don't like.
Like when you start, and I bring Pinterest up again, but when you start with Pinterest, it's like, I want to see recipes. I want to see fitness. I want to see, women's clothing. I want to see this and that. And you check a bunch of boxes and it starts to give you suggestions. And I think that might be something that would be helpful, because it's funny. You shared like a screenshot here of Rainn Wilson's Twitter about how he's complaining. He posted a tweet complaining about how he's got like 200,000 followers and now he reaches 5,000 and he has to pay. And we're going to talk about that in the next section of the next segment of our show, the tips to increase.
Well, because that's ultimately what this is about. Like, how do you get through that algorithm to get your message seen?
Right. How do you break down the barrier to get Facebook to let your audience see what you're doing?
Right.
And I think that's really the thing that we noticed a lot during the busy season this last summer with a lot of clients who had particularly summer-related products. We experienced a lot of frustration. And the thing is if you look at Facebook's reporting on the back end, it's sufficient and it gives you a decent amount of information, but it looks like you've been doing nothing.
Right.
You've got a post that saw 24 people and then you posted something and it's like 150. And so it starts to make you feel as a manager of social media accounts like you're not doing enough.
Well, part of it comes down to Facebook's growth. And there's been a huge increase of people liking pages. But the problem is the more people like pages, that takes up more potential conflicts in the news feed. So, and all these businesses, if Facebook allowed them to have like a Twitter type, like just flood on people, you would never see your family and friends and their
I'm not sure that a lot
videos.
of people would. I don't know how many people
I
would be sad about that.
I have heard there's some people who like their family. I've heard.
Really?
I've heard.
Really? Are you sure about that?
I don't know if they like them on Facebook or not, but
I see my family every day, so I'm like, if I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't need you to invade my Facebook. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so we can't let my parents listen to this one.
I'll just see you face to face. I don't need to see your Facebook. Thanks.
But I think that brings up the frustration for local businesses, because a lot of local businesses, nonprofit organizations, they may have like 200, 300 likes, 500 likes, because you're really hitting a targeted audience. And that frustration ends up coming into play when your audience is that 500 people. Here in the city of Santa Clarita, we have, I don't know how many people. How many people do we have live here?
In the city, it's I believe 192,000, but in the entire
Audio
valley,
Guru has a number.
In the valley, it's 300,000. Am I right? Okay.
All right, almost
Correct.
300,000 people in the city of Santa Clarita. It was like a third of that when I moved here.
Right.
As a child, not recently.
She came here on covered wagon.
I did. And Wild Bill Hickok came through at one point.
They used to dance for entertainment. They didn't have TV.
She still has her prairie skirt on today.
I do. Oh my gosh. It goes really well with my
So speaking of
Chucks.
local business, I actually have basically Facebook hates local business. based on the stats here. So like
We have to hide this podcast from Facebook.
Facebook. No, but seriously, so like a media news publishing page would get, if it had between, let's just say 0 to 25,000 likes, it would get 28.35% organic reach. If a news media website, I'm not really sure what the difference is, though, they get like 15, and then it says local business, 9.96. But this is a little bit old. The higher it gets up, it goes down. It's significantly lower than anyone else. So apparently they're like, you got to know about news. I think people's life would be better to just get business stuff than news stuff, honestly. But
Well, I mean, personally, like I honestly think I want to know what's happening in my community.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm following more businesses, if I'm following a lot of local businesses, a lot of local nonprofit organizations, political candidates, I want to see what they're posting because that's more valuable to me in my decision-making process.
right.
Absolutely. It affects you more directly. And that's part of the problem with Facebook's algorithm. They focus more on the macro and not the micro.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's a great point. That's a great point. I think that what we're noticing here then in the article that we found on TechCrunch, and this will be posted in the blog post on starksocial.com when we have the podcast up. We'll share that article with you guys. It's got a lot of great information. It is a little bit, it's like a year old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still relevant because I'm having this conversation a lot with clients. And I think that one of the things that, Gwen has noticed and I have noticed is that when you're working your tail feathers off and you're trying really hard to make sure that everyone is seeing the message that you're posting, whether it's for a political campaign, a local business, or a nonprofit organization, it's really important to make sure that you're following the audience patterns and the path, and we do the best that we can.
Right.
This article has the organic reach at 6.51, and we know it's lower now.
Yeah, it dropped in January, February,
Right.
down to 1 to 3%.
So
and
this
that
is
was
a trend. It's went back in 2012. It was 16%.
right.
So it just keeps going down. So basically, like it's pay to play now on Facebook.
Back in the day when I
Back in the
started
day.
managing social media, it was 20 to 30%, and it was awesome. But now
That's when
it's
she ran
still-
over on the covered wagons.
in the covered wagons when I came here.
Conestoga.
Back in the 90s, 1890s. If you're having trouble with your Facebook page, we have a lot of tips and information on our YouTube channel. You can search us, Stark Social Media Agency, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to tweet at us. We're at Stark Social. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/StarkSocial. Send us an email at hello@starksocial.com. We have a lot of tips and tricks and information that we can help you with. And we have done a lot of extra work to manage audience performance, to find out peak times and hours. So, I do a lot of webinars and trainings. Those are also on the blog.
Blog.
And our blog and our YouTube channel. That's a hashtag inside joke. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to send us messages. We are all about sharing information and content. We've got a lot of webinars that are free that are coming up. We have a lot of information that we're sharing. Nathan.
And who knows, maybe your question will become a podcast.
There you go. And maybe we'll have Gwen back.
For sure.
That'd be nice.
She's amazing and smart and funny. And she's a Libra. We will be back after this break with more information, some tips on how to increase your Facebook visibility because that algorithm sucks. Join us on The Social Life when we return. Thanks so much for listening.
Stark Social Media Agency is a boutique marketing firm specializing in custom solutions that are a cut above the rest. With a mission to strictly do good work, the Stark team provides the best product possible every single time. Whether you need a website upgrade, social marketing strategy, or branding design, Stark Social has the solution for success.
Welcome back to This Social Life. I am Deanna Miller, co-founder and marketing director of Stark Social Media Agency. With me, as always, is Nathan Imhoff, our creative director. He says, "Hey."
Hey.
And our special guest today, back with us again for the second half of the show, is Gwendolyn Sims. She is a social media consultant to national political campaigns. She's also a blogger and writer for a nationally syndicated radio show, and we're very happy to have her here.
And they just heard her on the commercial.
And they just heard her. We stole her voice for a commercial.
Now I can't talk.
Yeah.
All right, she's
Audio
silent.
audio guy.
Audio guru.
Guru. He calls me over there and he says, "Look at these. See these spikes? That's you."
That's because you don't know how to handle a microphone.
I don't have mic skills.
That's okay.
Sorry, people.
It's because you weren't on college radio like some of us
Back in the day.
back in the day.
In the
when I was young.
1800s.
I'm not a kid anymore.
The 1800s.
Back in the 1890s. It was the late 19th century, so I'm feeling good about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Deanna was doing the first podcasts live on location.
I did it straight from my covered wagon. It was amazing. People sat outside the covered wagon to listen to me talk.
She voted for Grover Cleveland.
Hashtag inside joke. So
I think-
anyway,
doesn't he coach the Chiefs now? Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm not sure, but I know will.i.am is the coach of the Steelers. Oh my gosh, this deteriorated quickly, and we just got started. So in our last segment, we were talking about Facebook's algorithm
And how much we hate it.
and how much we all hate it.
So
Can I get some eyes?
Hate it.
Eyes, yes.
Hate
Okay.
it.
hated it.
Hated it. So I don't know if you heard the snaps. But
Libra's
they were,
on film.
They were there. So we spent a lot of time bashing Facebook's algorithm, and we will hide this podcast from them in some form or fashion so they don't hurt.
Is that possible?
No, probably
I
not.
don't think they have time to listen to this.
They might, though. Maybe.
You're very optimistic.
I am super optimistic.
Sipper.
All right, teach us.
I'm a Libra.
Teach us how to-
Optimism just-
Wait, I
to
am too.
slay.
But
So's Gwen.
Slay the algorithm.
Your optimism kind of gets a little bit shattered when you become a mom, but we still try and hang on to it. So anyway, moving on. So we have 5 tips to increase your Facebook visibility. I sort of came up with these based on what I do on a regular basis with clients to help them manage and maintain a level of visibility that doesn't make them look at their social media statistics and go, "Oh my God, this is a waste of time." So I want to start with the one thing that is really controversial. People hate it. People get frustrated by it. I have a lot of clients who either want to spend a lot of money and throw just a ton of money at it, or they want to spend nothing on it because it's such a So
that's the technical term.
it really is. See, I've got Gwen in the room, so she knows. She knows it's a tech.
I speak techie like that.
She speaks technical social media manager speak like I do. You want to create a Facebook advertising budget that fits into your marketing budget.
And the key word there is budget.
Budget.
Plan.
Plan your monthly Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever money you're going to spend boosting posts, creating advertising. Plan for that every single month.
It's so important to have a plan, a budget, and a direction for no matter what you're doing, if you're a candidate or a business.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just crucial.
It absolutely is. And I think that's one of the things that I work with a lot of local businesses here on their social media. We work with a lot of real estate agents, a lot of nonprofit organizations. And one of the things I stress across the board is when you're developing a budget for your Facebook advertising, when you're boosting posts, it's important to look at the audience you're building within that Facebook advertisement, because that's really how you're spending your money. You can't, I really want to stress that you shouldn't just jump on Facebook and go, "I'm boosting a post for $50. Because that's wasted time
Because
and wasted
Facebook
money.
says if I spend $50, I'll reach 3,000 people.
Right.
Well, if those aren't the right 3,000 people, you've
Right.
just blown, your money.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I've seen a lot of people do is they'll blow that $50 on United States people who like my page.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's basically everyone
Cupcakes in the Los Angeles area.
everyone
being
who
advertised
already
in New
you're
York.
advertising to everyone who already likes your page.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally, you're not reaching anyone new. Your money is wasted. And I hate to be so doom and gloom about it, but your money is wasted.
Because they really can't like you again.
Right. They're going to like the post.
And New York's not going to care.
Especially about your LA cupcakes.
Your
That's right.
LA cupcakes are not going to New York City. I'm sorry.
This is
I
really
saw
important.
LA Cupcakes open for...
This is really important for what you do with the politics and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You
Absolutely.
you have districts, you have certain areas. You really have to focus these things. I mean, if you can waste a lot of money.
Absolutely. A lot of money, time, effort. What's the point? You want to target those posts to people who care, who are going to vote, who are going to buy your product. It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised how many businesses, how many campaigns, how many candidates even say, throw the money at it.
Right. No, absolutely. And I've had clients like that who then I've shown them, okay, well, you got 200 likes on this post. That's fantastic. But we got no new likes to the page. We got no new visitors to the website. We have no new email signups. Our return on investment is zero.
Zero. That means no growth.
You have no growth. No new people are seeing your stuff. No new people care. You've got a great, valuable audience, and we appreciate them. But there's ways to appreciate that audience and show them that you care. But you want to grow your sales funnel, and that's ultimate goal.
Unless you're motivating the people you already have, who like your page. If you're motivating them to share something, so that it'll get out there to see, so new people will see your posts.
Absolutely. No, totally. And I think and that's a great point that Gwen brings up. If you're motivating your current audience to share something with their friends and their family and people who that they have in their circle, that's a great point that she brings up. If you're motivating people to help share your message, then that's fantastic. But if you're just saying, I'm going to be at such and such, or I have this new product, and you're just marketing it to your current audience, then you're not taking into account all of the hundreds of thousands of people who are on Facebook that could be spreading your message.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really see the value anymore based on the organic reach of just running the, hey, like my page ad.
Well, I think it depends on, so there's the, hey, like my page, but there's also an extra step that goes into the, hey, like my page.
Tell them why.
And
Yep.
exactly, tell them why.
The value.
I also have a tip that will be a quick tip coming to our YouTube channel.
Tip.
So
Quick tip.
if you want the tip on how to get people to see what you're sharing, you're going to have to go to the YouTube channel, Stark Social Media Agency, subscribe.
It's like 5 minutes.
Anyway.
You can actually subscribe to just that list.
Yeah.
You could find all of them.
Just subscribe
on
to the
Tuesdays
quick tips.
and Thursdays.
So anyway, tiny commercial. But there's a good way to do that. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that your audience knows that you're not just telling them to like the page, but you're also telling them that you're going to be sharing valuable content. And you hope that they're going to come back to find that valuable content and information, especially for businesses or for campaigns, because what you're looking at is sharing information that's going to benefit them and their future. So moving on to the next tip, because we still have 4 more to go. You want to measure your audience's peak hours. So what this means is a lot of Facebook pages that I see that I don't manage, so I can't tell them what to do. They will hop on Facebook in the morning. They get to the office, and I'll see like 4 or 5 posts, shares from other pages come through, or posts of their own, and then they're dead radio silent the rest of the day. So you really want to take a look at, if you find a tool that helps you measure your audience performance. When is your audience active? And we have tools that we use.
My audience is active at 2 a.m.
That's
I hang out with rowdy people.
the dog doesn't count.
Oh, all right.
He doesn't have a Facebook page yet.
Not yet.
We should get him one though.
No way.
Yeah.
I got enough problems.
But so you really want to find a tool. We have tools that we use that measure viral posting, that measure your audience's times when they're active. Mm-hmm. And that's really important because you want to post, if you don't have a budget yet if you don't have money to spend on Facebook advertising, you want to post
Even if you do.
right during periods of time when your audience is most active, because that really increases the visibility. So that's important.
People seeing it is important.
You really add
You're
a lot of
absolutely
value
right,
to
Joe.
Another hashtag inside joke for those of you football fans.
Yeah, that's a football joke.
That's a football joke.
We're Packers fans. We see Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
I promise this is not a commercial for the Packers. It's really starting to sound like that, though.
Troy Aikman's move is always, "You're absolutely right, Joe."
On top of that,
anyways,
Troy and Joe aren't necessarily visually appealing to me, but you want to post visually appealing images and content. So what this means is Facebook really their algorithm responds really well to images, quality images. So what this means to me is if you're a business, if you're a real estate agent, if you're a political campaign, you're hitting the road, you're doing whatever you've got, you want to make sure that the images that you're posting are visually appealing to your audience. So, Gwen, if you're a political candidate...
Very important, right?
Absolutely. It's very important. So on the political side, posting pictures is great. The candidate, gets to be seen. It's also good to show action. Posts with pictures should be relevant to whatever is going on, the issue or the vote or whatever's going on. If it's a local campaign, you want to be able to show, where the candidate was, what they were doing, and you don't want to show them in a room by themselves.
Right, absolutely. And I think that goes for like local restaurants and businesses. You want to take pictures and share them of peak hours. You got a happy hour. You want to promote that.
Absolutely.
If you're a real estate agent, you want to promote your listing. So maybe you take pictures of an open house when you've got a bunch of people in there and you share that on Facebook.
I always say when I look at a picture, I want that picture to make me feel like I missed out because I wasn't there.
That's
I missed out
rule of thumb.
because I didn't order that food or I wasn't at that rally for that candidate. I want those pictures to make me feel like I missed something by not being there.
The tone should be that in the text too.
Absolutely. No, I love that. I love that. I love that. That's a great tip. We're going to include that in the blog.
So 6 tips.
We're going to
Six
steal.
tips.
We're going to steal that from Gwen. So when you're posting those visually appealing images, you want your audience to say like, gosh, I really missed out on something cool. I'm going to be there next time.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be there for margaritas and tacos next time. Sorry, I really...
When?
That's Solita on Thursdays, if you're looking for someplace local. So the next tip on my list is develop a video strategy. Now, one of the things that Facebook launched this year was the ability to upload videos directly to your Facebook page, which makes it easier to...
So much easier.
...consolidate your videos if you don't have a YouTube channel. If you do have a YouTube channel, my tip is to... strategically upload certain videos to Facebook with a call to action to subscribe to your YouTube channel for more information. So those two sort of go hand in hand, and we're going to talk a little bit more about YouTube in another podcast. I do have a lot of quick tips on the YouTube channel, in case you haven't missed it.
She's
about
full
that.
of them.
I've got a lot on our YouTube channel, Stark Social Media Agency. But anyway, you want to make sure that you're posting videos strategically, and the videos should be... enticing, similarly to any of the pictures that you're posting. Just like Gwen said, you want to make your audience feel like they missed out on something if it's an event, if it's an activity, if it's something cool that you're promoting.
And videos are a little different too, because you want to make them feel like you want the reader or the poster to think that they're there, that they're participating. It's a little different than a picture, but again, it's that action, that inclusion of, boy, I want to be at the next one.
Absolutely. And to tie into that, if there's something that you're doing, for example, a political campaign or nonprofit organization, you want to cross promote with local businesses and tag them in your posts. So if you're a political candidate who's at a restaurant or at a local organization's home base, you want to tag those people in your Facebook posts, because what that does is that prompts that organization, that prompts that restaurant, that business to then share your content. And what that does is that organically increases your reach without having to pay for those advertisements or those boosted posts. But also what it does is it builds that character that you're looking. It's a character reference that you are tied to local businesses, local nonprofit organizations, local entities. So you're building that sphere of influence is what I talk about a lot in the webinars that I put together. And you really want to make sure that the company that you keep is as fantastic as you are. So those are our 5 tips for today. Create a Facebook advertising budget. Make sure that you're measuring your audience's peak hours. Post visually appealing images. I love Gwen's tip on you want people to feel like they missed out on something. That is
bonus tip.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Develop a video strategy and upload strategically to Facebook. And if you have a YouTube channel, link to that in the comments, whatever you're putting together. And you want to cross promote with local businesses. We have a few minutes left. Any extra tips or ideas?
No.
Radio,
Not really.
radio silence.
Radio silence. I think just don't give up. I mean, there are peaks and valleys to all marketing. There are peak times and there are peak times within a campaign.
Absolutely. There's ups and downs. There's ins and outs. There's all kinds of stuff. If you are looking for more tips and information, you can always go to starksocial.com and look through our blog. We have a lot of really cool webinars and videos and trainings and cool stuff that we are sharing for free, no cost to you. You can also
Free, you say.
Free, I say. I give this stuff out for free. You can also go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/starksocial. We share a lot of those things, like the page, share the page. I'm boring, Nathan. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is @starksocial. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, go to youtube.com, search Stark Social Media Agency. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you have something you want us to cover in another podcast, go ahead and send us an email, hello@starksocial.com. And I am happy to answer your questions at no charge. We also offer free consultations.
Correct.
That is correct. We thank you so very much for joining us today on The Social Life. Thank you, Gwen.
You're welcome.
For
Thank you
popping
for having
in
me.
today. And Nathan, who's obligated to be here because I drag him here every single time.
He kinda
I just
Join
like to
us
say
next
algorithm.
time on The Social Life. And Nathan will not be saying algorithm.
Algorithm.
I promise. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.